Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. So today we got something a little different, something a little unusual perhaps, and I was a little bit hesitant as to whether to make a video on this or not because, well, the thing is we don't know whether or not this is actually real. Yesterday evening, UK time, on the official forums, a user posted this video. Now it's unclear how the user come across this particular video, and there's no real text to go with the video on the forum post aside from I don't know if it's fake, but I hope not. And in the title for the thread, the word fake is mentioned, but with a question mark. And that really is the thing, fake or not. So regardless for a moment whether or not this is fake, I think it's worth having a look at because I do like to cover fan-created concepts on this channel, and it is a thing I do from time to time. Some of them are very, very good, and this looks pretty interesting to say the least, aside from the very low frame rates here, which are a little bit problematic I guess, but other than that, it looks quite decent. Now there have been some comments out there stating that the base here does look a little bit uninspired, but well heck, it could just be a proof of concept. Now, let's get down to whether or not it could be real, and I'll argue for the reasons as to why I think, it could be real, and then we'll move on to why I think it might be fake. So, first up, why do I think it could potentially be real? For me then, the biggest indicator here is the date that this video was published to YouTube. If we look at the date it was published, it was the 23rd of April. So, why is that date significant? Well, just a few days earlier, a massive leak was posted to 4chan on Frontier's release schedule for the coming year, or the coming 2 years actually. Now, there was a number of points on there, including Planet Zoo, or the DLC for Jurassic World, and a number of other things for Planet Coaster. Everything on that particular leak has come to pass as being accurate, with the exception of the very strangely placed Lego game that was referenced there. Also, in regards to Elite, it's still a long way off, but the reference there was walking around as well as base building. Of course, Frontier themselves never actually comment on leaks, so there was no way to verify the validity of the leak, other than the fact that all the points on it, for the most part, actually were more or less 100% accurate. And I find the fact that this particular video was uploaded just 3 days after that leak to be, well, rather interesting to say the least. On a more minor note, the ice outside looks very similar to the ice renders that were showed at LaveCon about a year ago, I think. Not this LaveCon, but the LaveCon for 2018. Finally, the point that this wasn't actually actively promoted. Why go to the lengths of creating something like this all those months ago and not actually promote it if it's fake, if you're just trying to get attention? Now, as to the reasons I think it might be fake, well, there's a few of these. You may have noticed outside the window just now, the mountains off into the distance. These looked fairly unusual. They didn't look like they were rendered on a procedurally generated world. Instead, they looked like a prop dropped as a background there. But that could be excused by this being a proof of concept, perhaps. Also, the UI is a different colour to what we'd have come to know with Elite Dangerous. Elite uses a very typical orange. The orange there, or the yellow rather, is a little bit different to say the least. There's also some inconsistencies here. The word bridge above the door there is reversed, but then again, that could simply be an error there. The bridge is obviously back the other way, which means that bridge sign was actually the correct way round. And of course, one of the most obvious things here is the very, very bad frame rate. But again, it depends on where this particular build was made and what type of hardware that it was being played back on. So all in all, we don't really know whether this is an official leak or whether it is just something that someone has mocked together. But nonetheless, like I said, I do think it's pretty interesting. I thought a lot of you would like to see it, whether it's actually genuine or whether it's actually a fan-made concept. But in both cases, it's actually a pretty interesting video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, a very curious video. Walking around, we've got bases here, potentially player built, as well as outside, an ice world, very unlike what we've got right now in the game, and not to mention, you may have noticed an atmospheric sky there. All this video aside, of course, the future of Elite remains very much a mystery. We do know there's a massive paid expansion coming at the later half of 2020, maybe towards the end of 2020. It's untitled. It's also unannounced. We don't know what it's going to be, other than the fact that it's the biggest update Frontier have ever done so far, and Frontier are bold enough as to call it the next era or the new era. As always, thanks for watching. and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.